Nice bit of Swiss curtain rail.
And there's cupcakes. See, that's why we came here.
Not as good as Canadian blueberry muffins.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they got the pro pack on the top.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Now then, one of the most remarkable things you're ever going to come across is Gerald Gardner Plaque.
Oh!
Young lady is done it from Plaque. So, this is a unique opportunity to get yourself a silver here.
Wow. Yeah, I know, really. I'm not going to pack it up and take it home with me.
On behalf of Patricia Crowther, I would just like to read a short message. Patricia says, "It is exactly half a century since Gerald Gardner's passing into the Summerlands. He is receiving the great and well-deserved honour of a Heritage Blue Plaque for his work in bringing the ancient craft of the wise into its true position as the ancient priesthood of the old religion. The rapid spread worldwide of Gerald's work has revealed how necessary it must have been for the great goddess and her consort to be recognised again. Gerald was a great friend of mine. He was my initiator and the teacher of my occult knowledge. I cannot do better in describing Gerald's character than to quote the late keeper of prints and drawings at the Victoria and Albert Museum, James Lailoken, who said, "I was soon convinced that I was in the presence of a man of scientific and scholarly mind, a learned man, moreover, one who had written the standard work on the Malayan creeds and was an anthropologist and an archaeologist of great distinction. It was impossible to meet Gerald Gardner without realising that he was also a great human being." Those are Patricia's words. And
She wants to move back, probably.
she's on the list.
Hey.
So, I mean,
Well, that's the point.
so we have received messages from one or two other people who are sorry they can't be here, and Chris Vidding Crowley have said so. Mike Steigel, the president of the Pagan Federation, has sent his apologies, and has he sent a deputy? He has. So we have a representative of the Pagan Federation, which of course was a mere glint in Doreen Valiente's eye when Gerald passed on. Indeed. What I'd like to do now is we'd like to introduce you to the person who probably definitely knows more about Gerald, his life, his works, and so on in the world than anybody else living or dead. And long may that continue. I'd like to bring Philip up to say a few words, who is Gerald's biographer, author of several books, soon to be Doreen's biographer as well. And on a personal note, just to have an opportunity to have my say, I would just like to note and remember that great human being that Gerald was. Something that everyone always forgets is that as Jesus wasn't a Christian, Gerald wasn't a Gardnerian. So don't let anybody tell you that Gerald's way is the Gardnerian way. Gerald's way was Gerald's way, and that's the way that he laid out and helped other people to find and follow, like Patricia and so on. So go your own way, and and always remember that the labels aren't the most important thing.
Okay.
While he's doing that, one thing that is no, it's not a joke. Famous for all the I like big bad ones. If anybody wanted a ticket to come along to Philip's talk tonight, they've actually given us a slightly larger room, so we now have some tickets again. We had sold out, so if anybody hasn't got a ticket and they do want to come, there are tickets available.
Okay, right. Now, Gerald moved into this house in 1938. He retired. He'd had a life out east in Ceylon, Malaya, Borneo, and he came from a fairly rich family. So he was, in that way, when he moved in here, it was no different from many other ex-colonials who retired to this very pleasant coastal part of England. When he left here, about 1945, he had been initiated into what he called the witch cult, and he was very, very keen to make sure that it didn't die out. And this is basically, he was fascinated by it, and he realised that there were people who called themselves witches, and this really changed his life. And the last quarter of a century of his life, after he'd been initiated, he spent trying to publicise the craft, trying to make it more popular, more accessible to people, and wrote books, opened a museum, and initiated a lot of people. And it was while he was here that happened. Here, a significant single moment of his life took place while he was living here. And so that's why it's important that we have a plaque on this building. And I'm very, very pleased that the owner of this property has not only allowed this to be put up, but is enthusiastic about it. And if I may say so, I think that Gerald would actually have been thrilled to think that there was a plaque put up to him. Yeah, that's all I want to say. If you want to know more, then I'm giving a talk this evening at Highcliffe Castle. So that's it, I think.
Right. Well, just down to pulling the string now and actually unveiling the plaque. So it's not like we did last year in Brighton, where it was a big ritual in right in the centre of Brighton and stuff. It's not a ritual day, but it is a significant day. It's Gerald's 130th birthday. It's a full moon, and it's Friday the 13th. So really good. Full house. So I'm going to hand you over to Ashley, who's been looking after our deputy mayor, and after we introduce him. So.
Hey.
Yes, we talk about events not being complete without certain things, and obviously the curtains is one thing, the plaque is another, and the local dignitary is also vital for such an event. So I would like, on behalf of the pagan community and the Centre for Pagan Studies and the Doreen Valiente Foundation, and everybody who's travelled a long way today to come and say that they were part and parcel of this, I should like to welcome Christchurch as Deputy Mayor, Councillor Nick Geary, who I've had the pleasure of meeting a short while ago, and I think you've a few words to come and say for us.
Hey.
Just a few.
He's also got an AC30 and a Stratocaster.
Well.
So he's okay, Michael.
John, the fingers are still working well.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to take part in this celebration. And it is with great pleasure that I have the honour of unveiling a blue heritage plaque dedicated to the life of Gerald Gardner, known as the father of modern witchcraft, on what we would have been his 130th birthday. Almost single-handedly, Gerald reintroduced this ancient religious belief system, and his first book, High Magic Aid, was published in 1949, for years before the repeal of the Witchcraft Act. He went on to write a book of shadows, which is the most valuable document in the pagan world. Nowadays, this form of paganism, known as Guardianum witchcraft, is practiced by covens all over the world. The memorial plaque is placed on this house, as this is where he lived during the war years, and it was from this house that he walked to his initiation into the New Forest Coven in 1939. It is also known that Gerald and his wife Donna loved the time they spent in this house and this area. This is only the second time that a witch has been honoured in this way, and now gives me great pleasure, if the thing works as we hope it will, to unveil the plaque. Now you promised me, John, that it's going to work.
I'm not sure which one, but stand clear.
Is that one there?
That's the one.
There we are.
So great thanks to Christchurch Council and to the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Geary.
Hurrah.
We're singing happy birthday.
Which key do you want, Ashley?
Seriously, that could be an idea.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gerald. Happy birthday to you.